out there. Pris here with Imbalance. I have Skyhawks here. She's one of our members at Imbalance, willing to share a little bit of her testimony and story with Imbalance. Thank you so much for taking your time to be here, Sky. If you can share just a little bit about yourself on what your health habits were, particularly before starting Imbalance, and then what potentially led you into doing the search for mat Pilates, or what was it that you were looking for initially?
Definitely. So before I came to Imbalance, my exercise wasn't a thing. Exercise just was not a thing for me. I didn't do really anything active. I ate whatever I wanted, fast food every day, all the time, and it worked for me because I was young and I had a high metabolism. So everything just kind of fell off. I'd eat half a gallon of ice cream before bed, and I'd wake up skinnier than when I fell asleep.
Oh my goodness.
And then the pandemic happened, and I reached a certain age. My metabolism slowed down. I was even less active than I was before, which wasn't much, but still wasn't great.
Yeah.
And I started to notice this weight gain, and I just was not feeling good about myself. My clothes weren't fitting, and I got sick of unbuttoning my jeans under my t-shirt after work, that kind of a thing. And so I was really just looking for help. I was just looking for a better direction to go in. I passed by Imbalance every day on my way home. I don't live far. And I thought, like, oh, I could do yoga. Pilates seems cool. I hear about it all the time. And so I stopped in and I talked to Miss Pris over here. And I just loved everything that she had to say about the community and what Imbalance stands for. And so I walked in and I took the leap of faith and I joined. I was nervous. I've never worked out before, so I was nervous, but I'm really glad I did.
And we're so glad that you did it too. So I actually do remember that day when you walked in and you were like, well, you seemed very nervous, but very sure that this was what you wanted to do in order to help you get into the right track. Now, we did have the challenge at that time, and we still do have it going on, the 6-week transformation challenge, that I know that you did kind of partake in, not kind of, but you did partake. So, do you remember your first class with Imbalance? What did you feel walking into that class, and then how did you feel walking out of that class?
Yes, oh my goodness. So it was Jordan's Sunday morning yoga class. I was so nervous. I literally maybe sat in the parking lot for 5 minutes before I actually walked in here. When I walked in, I was shaking. I went up to Jordan. I was like, hi, this is my first class ever. I don't know what to do. And she was really sweet, and she was very welcoming. She was like, set up your mat anywhere in the room. It's very free flow. Take a second, get centered with the space. And even then, I was sitting on my mat, and I was shaking. My whole body was shaking. But the more class went on, she was really helpful, and she corrected me when I was doing something wrong. Her instructions were very clear. And I felt good. I honestly thought I was going to walk out of here after my first workout with like my whole body just aching and sore and shaking and terrible. But I felt good. Like mentally I felt good. And then I was walking to my car and I had my phone in my little side pocket over here and it buzzed. And I looked at it and it was Pris asking me how my first workout went. And to me that was just the sweetest, most best thing in the whole wide world. That she actually remembered that I had my first class today and that she cared enough to see how it went, even though like she got nothing out of it. You got nothing out of me having a good class, but you still wanted to make sure that I was happy, and that carried me really, really far. And in my head I was like, I can do this again. I can come back. And every single time that I came back, I just kept on getting that awesome feeling, and I started to feel stronger and started to notice myself doing better. And I think back to that first day and like, I can't believe I was so scared of this awesome place.
I'm so glad to hear that. So glad to hear that. Yes, because a couple of things is one, yes, we do care about form. So when you come to Imbalance, you're not just taking a class and getting lost in the sea, but there's direct instruction, and if you feel comfortable, we will tap you on the side and even course correct, right? So that way we can make sure that you're getting the most out of your workout and properly and safely. And then just the whole experience that you had. So that makes me happy. Thank you. So what was it, or at what point did you really feel like Imbalance had such a great impact where you were like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be? What was that moment for you?
So it was really after my 2 weeks when I started the 6 week challenge that we have, and I got my hands on these meal plans, which honestly I thought would be bland and just terrible.
But they weren't.
I really did. No, they weren't. They were delicious.
Yes.
All of the recipes on there were really tasty and they were easy to make. I thought the ingredients would be super expensive. They weren't. I personally spent less on ingredients for this meal plan than I did when I was eating fast food every single day.
Right.
And that was a huge thing. But the more I started to eat better and combine that with the activity of, just coming here, working out, and I really did start to feel good. My stomach stopped hurting as much. My stomach used to hurt all the time. My stomach stopped hurting as much. I started to notice that I looked thinner. Other people were telling me that I looked like I had lost inches. Yeah. And just the tools that y'all give us that I had never even thought of, didn't even know existed before. Once I actually started to implement them in my life and use them, even though at first it seemed like a chore, I really realized how valuable they were, and it taught me a lot about food in general. You think just because, like, oh, chicken, that's healthy for you. Yeah, well, not if it's fried.
This is true.
Not if it's from Cane's.
This is true.
And I really started looking at exactly how much protein, how much carbs, how much fat are in all of the things I eat. And when I just made a tiny effort to say, okay, today I'm going to eat a few less grams of carbs, a few more grams of protein, a few less grams of fat, a few more grams of protein, and I just started to make those little changes here and there. It suddenly became a really easy and effortless thing to do, and it was easy. Yes, it was easy to cut out things like mayonnaise. That's very high in fat, and I used to eat it all the time. And then just by cutting out mayonnaise, suddenly my numbers started to change and things just looked better for me.
Yeah.
And so really it was when the 6 week challenge started that I felt like this is my place.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. So I want to touch on this, and with Sky's permission, she has allowed me to ask a couple questions to this. But there was a time where we were talking in conversation, you mentioned how previously, like in your past life, that you didn't always have the greatest relationship with food, but coming here to Imbalance, you were able to implement healthier choices and realized that this was the better of the, or like the better route or the better way to go.
Definitely. So I have been struggling with body dysmorphia since I was in elementary school, really. It was one of those things where I would eat like crazy, and then for the next week afterwards, I would really only snack during the day. I barely ate at all to compensate for all the binge eating that I just did. And I was in that habit for over half my life, since maybe 5th grade all the way up until I was 26. When I started coming to Imbalance, I was in that habit. Eat. Don't eat it all for a week. Oh, look, I look skinny again. Now I can eat whatever I want. And just keep on going back and forth and doing that. And then with those tools that I learned about and started using during the 6 week challenge, I just found a better way. I found a better way to make myself look and feel skinny like I want to be, without having to deprive myself, or without having that feeling of, oh my gosh, I'm hungry all the time. But I can't. Yes, you can. You can eat, you can snack, you can have breakfast and lunch, and by breakfast I don't just mean a cup of coffee. Like, you can
something with substance
and feel good, and there are better options that don't taste bland. And that's something that I love that Imbalance taught me, and I'm so mad at myself that I couldn't learn that somewhere else on my own, just by Googling or whatever.
Well, Sky doesn't realize how resilient she is, because now she's even taken her journey a step further and is challenging herself now with a Mat Pilates certification. So what was the turning point where you're like, I want to get involved, I want this? What does that look like for you?
So when I really got in the habit of coming here all the time, I was coming here just 12 times a month, 3 times a week, and I was like, I want more. This isn't enough. I love the way I feel when I come here. I love the community here. This is my place. This became my place, when before my couch was my place. Now this is my place, and I love it so much. And more. So I bumped up to 16 times a month, and it was great, but I want more. I want more. I want to be involved here, and I want just to share anything that I could possibly teach with all of the awesome people who come and work out here, who are our clients. I just want to give, and I want to constantly be doing better, and I want to constantly help people push themselves to do better, because that's all we're really trying to do. I am going to be better tomorrow than I am today. I'm going to be better the day after that than I was tomorrow. Everything, just constantly pushing to be better, improve, get stronger, build up my endurance, and if I can help help other people do that, I want to do that. And I want to help everybody feel good and feel strong.
I love that fire, and I love that passion, because we need more passionate people who, don't realize that, the power of your testimony will most definitely connect with someone out there, I know for sure. And to that person who is maybe nervous about stepping into something different, who maybe comes from, I don't work out very often, mentality or structure, what would you say to them coming in?
I have been there. I have been at the place where you don't work out at all, and you hate the idea of being sore all the time, and that just completely repulses you and turns you away from working out, and you want to make a change, but you don't. I've been there. Come in. Do it. Talk to me. Talk to Chris. Talk to Hope. Talk to Aubrey. Talk to everybody. Talk to everybody. We've all been there. But once you get over that hump and you get over that initial fear, you're going to be so glad you came. You're going to want to come back, and you're going to want more, just like me. So just come and try it. Talk to people. It is awesome. You will not regret it.
Thank you, Sky.
Thank you.